They travel throughout the country and around the world, excel in the classroom and on playing fields, tracks, and courts. The knowledge they gain leads to millions in scholarships. The lessons they learn today and nurturing they receive prepare our scholars to own businesses, star on stages, lead universities and corporations, impact our nation and our world. Birmingham City Schools, success starts here.
Hey, my friend, how you doing? You know I love them cheeks. Come here, my baby. Come on. Go on down the red carpet.
It's the first day of school in Birmingham City Schools, and our scholars are ready to unlock their potential and creativity. Here at Sun Valley Elementary School, the sun was shining bright on these students as they walked down the red carpet and into the school.
We are ready day one, and we are certainly ready as our partners, Birmingham Police Department. They've come and they've rolled out the red carpet for our scholars. Parents are taking pictures, children are excited, so we are just thrilled.
These twin siblings are thrilled about starting kindergarten at Sun Valley.
I like school.
You do? What do you like about school?
I like sitting down at school and eating at school.
Down the street at the newly opened Martha Gaskins Early Learning Annex, Superintendent Dr. Mark Sullivan joined the children as they danced to their morning words of affirmation song. Miss Arlene Williams, talk about how the first day of school is going at the new Martha Gaskins Early Learning Annex.
Let me just say, I want to really thank the families, the communities, because they have really shown out. They've been here on time. Children were here for breakfast. Breakfast went smoothly. Drop-off was great. And they came right on to class. So I thank this community because they have really, really done a great job accepting us.
In North Birmingham, George Washington Carver High School's principal, Tiki Hines, and her staff may be the best dancers in the district. They showed off a few moves as they welcomed their scholars back to school for another year of learning. The Rams were even featured on WBRC's Good Day, Alabama, near downtown Birmingham. Phillips Academy's Junior Lions cheerleaders performed to the Temptations' popular hit Get Ready, welcoming their fellow classmates back to school for another world-class education. The brothers of Phi Beta Sigma helped with traffic flow and made sure the students got into the building safely. A few blocks over at the historic A.H. Parker High School, the fans were popping and the pom-poms were shaking. The football Bison dads and the Parker alums cheered on the scholars as they embarked on a new chapter in life. The brothers of Omega Psi Phi and 95.7 Jams were on the hill of Ramsey IB High School, greeting the scholars and wishing them a fantastic school year. Let's head to Southwest Birmingham. BCS board member Walt Wilson and community members put smiles on the scholars' faces as they walked down the red carpet and into Jones Valley Middle School. And Winona High School ended their first day of school with a pep rally.
We had a great first day here. We had about at least 3/4 of the student body showed up on day one. That's the most kids I've ever had show up in all my years of education on day one, and we were ready day one. We also, right now, we had a pep rally for coming back to school to deal with our greatness, our academic success, and to celebrate our students who came today, and also how well we've done on our tests.
Dr. Sullivan made stops at several schools to greet students. Overall, he said the first day of school was a success.
Everybody's excited about being in school. You know, the way you start school is the way you end school. And if this is an indication of how school's going to end, it is going to end exciting because the day has been an exciting day all throughout the school district. So welcome and thank you for day one.
I'm Fred Davenport, BCS Media.
I'm Jason. I'm in the 4th grade. I love math. I am epic.
I am Evelyn Jones. I'm in 2nd grade. I love reading. I am epic.
Epic Alternative Elementary School, a 2024 National Blue Ribbon School. Our students thrive. Our teachers are committed to each student's individual success. We're producing future lawyers, doctors, teachers, engineers, and business owners too.
Birmingham City Schools, success starts here.
In Birmingham City Schools, we say success starts here. and the results show. BCS students continue to make gains on the ACAP grade for the year 2024-25. That's according to initial reports. ACAP stands for Alabama Comprehensive Assessment Program. Birmingham City Schools also reduced the number of its failing schools to the lowest number since the state began issuing school district and individual school report cards.
A few years ago, we had 15 schools in the state A through F report card that were listed as F schools. We have been making great strides and improvements. 2 years ago, we cut that number in half to 7 schools. And when the test scores come out in the fall, you will see that we will have, and this information is embargoed, so I won't say what the exact number is, but what I will say is that we will have the lowest number of F schools that we've ever had in Birmingham City Schools, and we will have the highest grade on a report card than we've ever had.
And there's more exciting news. Birmingham City Schools has emerged as a proven leader among school districts in the state. Here's how. Curriculum and Associates recently completed a study of 8,000 school systems in 30 states. Curriculum and Associates ranks BCS as being number 1 in Alabama in math recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. BCS ranks 7th in the nation in mathematics recovery. BCS uses an online platform called iReady by Curriculum and Associates to track accurate data of students' performance through practice tests.
We noticed that our students had tremendous deficits after the pandemic. However, the program allowed us to get just-in-time data on their math and ELA skills. We benchmarked our students 3 times a year. We not only used it for our benchmark and our formative assessment, but we also used it to also provide online personalized instructions in both content areas. It was a hard sell because our students, were really trying to recover a lot of skills, but the program helped us to identify those areas where they were weak and their strengths. And we tailored our professional learning and our curriculum to the information we gathered from iReady.
So what strategies did BCS implement to see this incredible success?
We've extended our school year through our intercession program. We've had great summer programs. We have great partners who work with us, like STAIR, Better Basics, the City of Birmingham through a partnership called Page Pals. So all of those things working together, I think, has contributed to the success that we're seeing in Birmingham.
School board members say they are pleased with the current trend of success in Birmingham City Schools.
It is a great day to be a board member and a participant in the Birmingham City Schools. I'm so proud of the work that we have accomplished thus far.
I'm so proud of our board, our superintendent, our academic officer, all of our teachers and principals, especially the scholars and their parents, because I have testimonies from parents. I've met them in the grocery stores. They've talked about how they've been all in with their teachers. They talked about the buy-in to the program. They talked about Saturday school. They talked about doing the 10 to 15 minutes of reading at home. And these are the results.
You can read more about the case study on our website, bhamcityschools.org. I'm Fred Davenport, BCS Media.
Watch Steve Brown, Brett Oates, Ray Turner, Keith Mims, and Tommy Palladino this fall on BCS Under the Lights.
From performing in Birmingham, Alabama to singing before an international audience, the Birmingham Youth and Young Adult Fellowship Choir brought joy to millions of people on the popular NBC television show America's Got Talent. How did it feel to perform on the stage for America's Got Talent?
To be honest with you, I'm still processing it.
It felt amazing. I had so much fun. It was crazy. I always dreamed about being on there. I was nervous because I was kind of the first person to come out. But it was a lot of people in there. I never sung in front of thousands of people. So it was different, but it was exciting because it was a new journey for us.
A dream that came true for Peyton Marbury, Jessica Judge, and Braylon Malone, all Birmingham City School students who sing in the fellowship choir. There are several more current BCS students and former students who sing in the choir that was founded by Ramsey IB High School graduate, Mr. Akeem Lee. Talk about your choir making it to America's Got Talent. How big is it?
It feels amazing. It's almost like I still can't believe it even happened. We taped the audition in March, so we've been, holding in this big secret for quite a bit of time, but it feels absolutely amazing. But it also feels like a relief, we finally get to share this moment with the city of Birmingham and our family and friends.
This group spent a countless number of hours and months of rehearsals beginning last fall. Their amazing voices not only moved the crowd and viewers.
I could see and hear how much work went into this. Every single one of you played the perfect part. We had lead vocals, we had emotion, and I'm so honored that you would come here on our 20th anniversary, and in return, I want to give you something.
It led celebrity judge Simon Cowell to press the golden buzzer. Giving the choir an opportunity to move to the next level. This competition is a defining moment for this choir.
This year is actually our 10th year anniversary, so to be able to appear on an international platform is amazing for it to happen, especially now. It's been 10 years of a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice, and I'm just really, really excited.
Did you ever think this would happen for your choir?
No, absolutely not. The choir was founded originally as a one-time thing. But God had other plans, and a lot of young people in the city wanted to be a part of it, so we kept it going, and 10 years later, we're still here.
This is also a defining moment for Braylon Malone, who's been a part of this choir for 8 years and always watches America's Got Talent.
And I was like, man, I'll never be on that show ever in my life, boy. Who I look like going out there doing that? And it's crazy that I did it, and it was like, dang, what? Like, I was just watching it, but now it's me. I hugged Simon. Like what? Like, boy, oh my God.
Is it a dream come true?
Yeah, yes sir.
Jessica Judge has been in this choir for nearly a year. She also sings in the choir at George Washington Carver High School and credits her renowned music instructor, Bobby Stringer, for also preparing her for this big moment in life.
He's helped me with solos and singing out more. And it's just he's helped a lot, and I appreciate him for everything he's done for me.
So what's next?
Be prepared to see BYYAFC on your TV screens in the fall of this year.
And they are having their 10th anniversary and back to school benefit concert on Sunday, July 20th at the historic 16th Street Baptist Church starting at 3:30. Free school supplies will be giving out to K through 12 students. If you would like to donate and help with travel and other expenses, you can give by visiting the group's website at www.bhamyyafc.org. If you would like to donate through check or other methods, send them an email at info@bhamyyafc.org.
This is just the beginning. You're big, now it's gonna get bigger. Right?
I'm Fred Davenport, BCS Media.
I graduated from Woodlawn High School with 2 years of college credit thanks to the early college program. I am Destiny Nelson Miles, and at age 19, I graduated from UAB and started my finance career at Regions.
With specialized career academies, early college, career and technical education, and a rigorous curriculum, Birmingham City Schools prepares you for college, for careers, for life.
Birmingham City Schools, success starts here.
Big things are happening here at Booker T. Washington K-8 School in Birmingham. Inside the school's gymnasium this week, the scholars welcomed in guests from the Birmingham community for a major celebration.
Booker T. Washington, recognized as a STEM certified campus.
The National Institute for STEM Education designated Washington K-8 School as a STEM certified school. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
This has been a rigorous process over the last year and a half to make sure that we presented projects and evidence for the National Institute of STEM Education to actually look at and certify us as a national STEM school.
Washington K-8 joins 2 other Birmingham City schools that have earned this distinction. Those schools are W.J. Christian and Bush Hill STEAM Academy.
We have worked on this project really for over 5 years. We began with a committee of teachers who worked tirelessly to become STEM certified teachers, and then from that committee we added more teachers who had a passion for math, science, and technology.
I'm also excited to be here because we are celebrating your STEM certification. Give yourselves a hand clap.
Washington K-8 invited Dr. Veronique Brown, a K-12 outreach manager for Quant Hub and veteran educator, to serve as a motivational guest speaker for their celebration.
The skills you build today, like how to organize your thoughts, ask questions, make a plan, work through a tough challenge, are transferable.
Prior to the celebration, the school hosted a STEM fair where the scholars were able to show off their innovative work and critical thinking skills. One group used STEM to recreate a well-known Chinese landmark.
This is the Great Wall of China, and it was designed to stop northern invaders.
Another group spent about a month of hard work creating this roller coaster.
It showcases kinetic and potential energy and the energy of the loop. Potential energy as right here. As we go on, it slowly turns into kinetic energy, which shifts into acceleration, which brings us down here.
Meanwhile, there are more exciting things happening that involves the students at Washington K-8. A group of students will be doing a week-long internship this summer where they'll get to do STEM-related experiments at labs at UAB. And Washington K-8 offers its scholars nursing, aviation, firefighters exploration clubs. I'm Fred Davenport, BCS Media.
I'm Kiera Williams. I graduated from Parker High School. I'm an RN in Women's Services. I interned with Birmingham Promise and graduated from UAB with the help of the Birmingham Promise Scholarship.
With specialized career academies, early college, career and technical education, and a rigorous curriculum, Birmingham City Schools prepares you for college, for careers, for life.
Birmingham City Schools, success starts here.
I am helpful. I love to help my mom and clean up after myself. I am kind. Being kind means being nice.
You're listening to the voices of new, really young authors from Princeton Alternative Elementary School in Birmingham.
Next we have Wyatt Finley.
Miss Terry Tucker hosted a publishing party this week for her kindergarten class, which released an interesting new book titled Zesty Zebras, Book of Affirmations.
When I grow up, I will always be helpful.
I am elated. I am so proud of my scholars. They have done just a fabulous job in getting this major accomplishment off the ground. It wasn't easy, but with the help of a committed parent, we were able to pull this off, and we now have 14 published authors.
After the scholars worked on their affirmations, Ms. Tucker helped the 5-year-olds with creating their artwork. That's also included in the book.
This was actually the vision of Miss James, who is our 5th grade teacher here. And she has written books for the last 3 years with the 5th grade. Well, of course, 5th grade is pretty stable in the writing process. In kindergarten, we're just beginning the writing process, so I thought it was a big undertaking, but they did very well. They were able to follow the writing process when writing the book, and everything turned out beautifully.
I teach ELA, and writing is one of our main focuses, and I stumbled upon an email from this company. It's called Student Treasures, and this is my 3rd year doing it. I started during the pandemic, and then I stopped, and then I decided to bring it back because of the biggest impact that it had on my students.
Student Treasures is a publishing company that provides schools with free hands-on writing activities. The company's goal is to motivate students to write and turn their stories into professionally bound books. The incredible work of Ms. Tucker's students caught the attention of Assistant State Superintendent Autumn Jeter. She visited the school to see the students' work firsthand.
For me, this was personally gratifying to be coming back to an elementary school, as I've been out of the classroom a few years serving as in upper leadership. So just me knowing what's expected of kindergartners and fifth graders, knowing what those standards are, I was very elated to hear and see the work that they've done and how well the kindergarten students read so fluently.
Bruce Jackson, the school's principal, is in awe of his scholars' achievements.
Our goal this year was to make sure that our scholars improve in writing. And so we want to make it more practical, and they embrace the challenge, and they are so excited. We just so delighted for this achievement today.
If you're interested in buying a copy of the book, visit studenttreasures.com/parents and enter the PIN number 843-2008. Before we end, listen to these little authors recite their daily words of affirmation.
We will be great. We will be great. I'm smart. I'm smart. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm courageous. I'm courageous. I'm a leader. I'm a leader. Let's give them a hand.
I'm Fred Davenport, BCS Media.
When I started first grade at Birmingham City Schools, I had no idea what was ahead. My teachers nurtured my passion for math and science. I studied alongside high-quality educators at Ramsey High School's Engineering Academy. Now, I am doing research at the O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center at UAB alongside world-class scholars. Birmingham City Schools prepared me. In a few years, I'll have a degree and a bright future in research.
Birmingham City Schools, success starts here.
These brilliant STEM scholars from Southampton K-8 School were met with an applause as they walked into Renew Birmingham, ready to show off their innovative work.
3, 2, 1.
The scholars, along with their tech advisor, Ms. Tambra Clark, officially cut the ribbon this month for their new award-winning vending machine. It's called the Hygiene Hub, and it's no ordinary digital vending machine. The vending machine contains free diapers and feminine hygiene products for those in need in Birmingham.
I'm really happy that it came true, that it came to life, that everybody's going to be able to use it now.
It's definitely a reality. I'm so excited. I'm excited for the students to just be able to see this, something that they thought of, talked about, and to actually bring it to life, you know, and it just shows you all things are truly possible when you're persistent, consistent, innovative, and creative.
Now this is a story all about how we're breaking hygiene hubs for our town. We got a mission, so let's play our part. Let's break it down, let's make it smart.
This is the data-driven rap song the scholars used to convey their message about ending period poverty, which led them to win $10,000 in the 2024 All-Tech Innovation Challenge. The school was also named the Alabama State winner in the 2024-2025 Samsung Solve for Tomorrow competition, securing the scholars an additional $12,000 to help fund their hygiene hub. How do you feel about today in the Hygiene Hub finally opening?
Feel great. Feel awesome. Can't believe we really got it. We really did it.
It's important because the way it serves our community. It helps people that's low on these menstrual products and hygiene products. It helps them.
The vending machine will be housed at Renew Birmingham. Anyone who needs products from the machine will have to register at hygienehubbhm.com.
And then you need to be confirmed. Confirmed means coming down to Renew Birmingham, and an associate here will be in place between 9 to 5 all day. Come in with a picture ID. It does not have to be a driver's license or passport, but come in with a picture ID. They confirm who you are just that very first time, and that barcode is good for the life of however long you need to use those services.
This project wouldn't be possible without the support of community partners and the sponsors listed on the sides of the Hygiene Hub. In Isley, I'm Fred Davenport, BCS Media.
Scholars in Birmingham City Schools get the tools and support they need for success every day. Educators encourage students from pre-kindergarten to high school to reach
budget. Dr. Sullivan?
Thank you, Mr. President, and Ms. Glover. Again, thank you to your team for compiling this budget. I know that it's not a simple process, and so thank you, and I'll turn the floor over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. Good afternoon, everyone. For the second and final required budget hearing for 2026, which will cover October the 1st, 2025, going through September the 30th, 2026. This will be the budget for this particular period. The mission of Birmingham City Schools is to guide all students to achieve excellence in a safe, secure, and nurturing environment. Birmingham City Schools will be a recognized leader in public education, providing the needs of a diverse student population prepared to succeed in a global society. The budget process started this past spring, around April of 2025, when the district team actually met with the principals to go over the staffing. From there, we met with different department heads to go over their specific needs within the department. And from there, we compiled a budget that is being presented. The required hearings would be 2. Yesterday and the one for today. It is due on or by September the 15th to the State Department of Education. The general fund is the primary account for most of the monies that's within the school district for the general fund. And as it relates to that general fund, some of the items that came out of the legislative sessions were the EAT monies, which totaled $21.9 million. Stipends for principals at $1.4 million. Stipends for not only the special education teachers, but for the speech pathologists as well, at $1,200 for the SPED teachers, $1,000 for the speech pathologists, $1.8 million for the education delivery option. The $5 million that is given to Jefferson County and Birmingham City is split based on ADM. Jefferson County received $3.2 million. BCS in turn received the $1.8 to total that $5 million. Again, BCS is using the $1.8 for intercession. And the biggest part of the biggest part of the legislative session was the RAISE Act. It was new for 2026, and BCS would be receiving $5.8 million. The RAISE stands for Renewing Alabama's Investment in Student Excellence, and also the Parental Leave Act that truly went into effect on July the 1st. Highlights from the proposed budget as it relates to just the local general fund. What is being projected or proposed would be a one-time prospective pay of $1,000 for all full-time employees. 2 new leave days. The leave days will be over and beyond what is given from the state. These 2 leave days, one will be specifically for bereavement, and one will be as the employee chooses, which will be a personal day. Additional stipends will be given for the special education teacher. The $1,200 is already coming from the state, but the school board is adding $3,500. The total will be $4,700 for those SPED teachers. It's not only to attract, but to retain the teachers that we currently have. For the salary schedule supplements, the only adjustment would have been the crossing guards from $10.34 per hour to $15 per hour, and the crossing guard manager from $15.98 to $23.17. These crossing guards work 2 hours a day for the 180 days that school is in session. $1.4 million for CNP equipment. The proposed new positions will be fine arts itinerant teacher, internal auditor officer, gifted itinerant specialist, 3 ESL, that stands for English as a Second Language, paraprofessionals, and 3 positions from the special education department. We are requesting to repurpose 2 positions, a mentor teacher to a 12-month resource teacher, and a coordinator from Ed Tech to become a coordinator of a recruitment coordinator from the HR division. These will not require any additional monies. It will be a lateral move on the same salary schedule. A continuation of ESS staffing services, continuation of intercessions from the grant of $1.8 million. The school board will be advancing monies as well in order to fully fund intercession. Sign-on bonuses for hard-to-fill classified staff, and also a continuation of education supplements for those classified employees. Budget considerations were given to how we were looking as it relates to the ADM, or average daily membership, as well as looking at deferred maintenance issues and technology issues. All of those were put in or taken into account for the 2026 budget. That 20-day window, this is how the school districts receive the foundation funding, and the 20-day count officially started on Tuesday, September the 2nd. It will go through the 29th of September, and it will be the numbers captured for our 2027 funding. For the ADM, this is what we're getting funded from last year's numbers. For the 20 elementary schools that we have, the grand total was 26. As an increase for the ADM, and it resulted into a gain of 2.89 units. It also was a gain of 1.5 assistant principals and a half counselor. One of the items to note from the slide before us was Hemp Hill Elementary. When elementary schools receive at least 300 ADM or more, they now, based on the new legislative that was passed a couple years ago, gave them an additional half assistant principal unit. Okay, the next one will be just a chart of the same 26 units earned. For the 7 K-8 schools, we had an increase of 85.20, which resulted in a gain of 3.67 teacher units. Chart of the same 85.2. Our 8 middle schools was a decrease of 80 students altogether, which resulted into a loss or a decrease in teacher units of 4.06. For our 7 high schools, we had an increase of 45.45, a gain of 2.5 for teacher units. And finally, our 1 virtual school, the Virtual Academy of Learning, started with 205.10 for 2026, had an ADM of 174, which was a decrease of 31.10 ADM, which resulted into a loss of 1.63 teacher units. Overall, though, for all 43 of our schools, it was a positive gain of 46.5, which resulted into overall 3.46 additional units, 1.5 assistant principals, and a half additional unit of counselors. The chart just shows the trend of loss in the column for 2026. In black, it shows the positive gain for many years of being a decline. Where we are currently, so for this past Friday, we were down 418. As of the day, I think yesterday, it was negative 407. Part of that is due to our ELL population, our English limited learners students. A little over 300 are unaccounted for out of the 418. Revenues. So this is the list of all of the revenues that we primarily receive as it relates to the state funds. We see the biggest pot, which is the foundation program, ETF, of $3.5 million additionally. That is in part gain of the increased enrollment. Overall, bottom line number was $129 million that we'll receive from these combined. As you'll notice under at risk, it shows a 0. That 0 denotes that those monies now have been transferred to the new RAISE Act. Additional monies are listed on this particular screen from Alabama Reading Initiative, or what they call ARI, to the very bottom on the list, the RAISE Act, of that $5.8 million. The RAISE Act was established to to provide additional funding for public K-12 schools to address the educational needs of specific student population and to improve their outcomes. The list that you see before you just gives from the State Department as to what the weights were and what the correlated funding would be. To the right, it just shows what is netted, because the amount that we would have received under the foundation program, because we're no longer receiving that and it's added into the RAISE Act, we simply reduce that amount to see what the net or the increase would be for each areas. The state at risk will be $2,016,264. SPED will be an increase of $945,000. The ELL, English Language Learners, will be $949,000, and gifted $43,858, all additional monies over and beyond what we would have received from foundation. That resulted into almost $4 million additionally. The RAISE Act breakdown is provided before you from the different areas as we consulted with those department heads. The revenue classification continues with the list of other state monies. As we get into the fiscal year starting October the 1st, we typically see monies coming in at late notice. On this particular one, Governor's Turnaround, a day or so ago, we did receive an update that we will receive Governor's Turnaround funding and that the MOA is scheduled to be released any day now. The amount is still reflected at 0 until we get that allocation. The grand total of all state revenues would be $184 million, which is an $8.6 million increase. The biggest part of the increases would be the RAISE Act and the foundation program increase due to increase in student enrollment. Local taxes and city appropriations were projected to receive an additional $5.5 million, and these are just estimates because they're taxes. The other local sources, we are projecting a slight decrease of $1.7 million. For the general fund staffing, the bottom right just shows the increase overall of 4.96 units additionally. For the foundation program, as it relates to the additional monies that we receive, the main difference is common purchase, where it showed $100. That $100 will be added now back to student materials, increasing it from $900 to $1,000 per teacher unit. The fringe benefits increased this year. The health insurance went up by $1,200, and both tiers of retirement increased by 1%. For the personnel costs, the amount budgeted this past year was $229.4 million. We're budgeting $245.2 million for FY26. For those other operational expenditures, you see the list before you from professional services. Going to the next slide on slide 48, instructional supplies, etc. The last slide of slide 49 gives a grand total of all of those expenditures by object code. The amount budgeted the past year was $356.6 million. For FY26, $370.2 million, an increase of $13.6 million. Starting with slide 51 and 52, those gives you the actual same information but by function. The description is in the third column. Special revenue funds. For the special revenue funds, you have the list before you. The one that had the biggest decrease as it relates to the annual allocations we receive was Title I Part A. We will be receiving $1.1 million less than the prior year. Overall, the sources of funds was a decrease of $8.3 million. The biggest part of that was the $5.7 from the bus grant. For capital projects, the grand total from FY25 at the very bottom where it says total available from the sources of funds, we would have from FY25 $45.2 million. For FY26, we're projecting $43.9 million, which is a decrease of $1.3 million. This is the same information, but it's broken out by function. That shows the biggest out of the full list, capital outlay from $37.1 million to the $36.9 million. In the next 15 or so slides from Arrington, as we advance from these slides, all of these are existing projects that are currently still on our books from this current fiscal year. Many of the projects may not have gotten off the ground earlier in the fiscal year, but all projects have truly has started already. So we are projecting to end this upcoming fiscal year with all of the current or existing projects taken care of. So on slide 67, we show that for FY25, we had budgeted for all of these current existing projects of $42.6 million. For the upcoming fiscal year, FY 2026, we're budgeting $44,074,163.72. Slide 68 just basically shows that because we are taking advantage and taking care of these existing projects, we currently will have no new projects proposed. This gives that same breakdown that shows the grand total of all projects for FY26, $44 million. For our fiduciary funds for FY26, we show that the total revenues and expenditures they're both at $1.9 million with a fund balance of $996,133. Slide 73, with all funds combined, this gives us a projection of what the budget looks like. The line above where it is highlighted for the ending balance, it gives what that beginning balance is. So we're projected to start October the 1st with an estimated $162.2 million, but we're projected to end that same fiscal year of September the 30th, 2026, with $125.4 million. That equates to 4.07 months in reserve if everything is spent as according to how it is budgeted. The next slides will be P1 reports that is required for all budget hearings. We are required to give not only a P1 report, but a P2 report. The P1 reports just breaks down all of the revenues and expenditures by source of funds. The P2 report is probably over 400 pages, and it's available on our website. The actual printed version is out front on the actual table out front for your viewing. But overall, all of the information from not only the budget hearing presentation, but the P1, the P2, and a response form, all of those are available on our website.
Ms. Williams. I think we do this each year. I ask this question. Can you confirm P2 is that the detailed federal dollars or?
Okay, the P2 is a breakout by cost center. So from every school within the district, it breaks out an estimated amount that has been budgeted by school. And the other cost centers are district level outside of the schools. So it includes the whole district, but by cost center. That's the difference. Thank you. Okay. So at slide 79, that gives, I'm almost done. Slide 79 shows the ending of that P1 report, and it gives the grand total of everything that's listed. Okay. Dr. Sullivan, Board President Meadows, this concludes budget hearing number 2 for 2026. Are there any additional questions?
I do have a question.
Ms. Bond.
The Parental Leave Act, I saw that there's not a number by it. I'm assuming that's an unfunded mandate, and we're budgeting for that?
It's not an unfunded mandate. We get the information, we send it to the State Department as it's being used, and they send us the monies in reverse. So it is funded after it has taken place.
Okay, that's great.
I'm sorry, Dr. Classberry, is there any additional?
So when you lay the schools out, like Sullivan, that there are 4 schools with low student population of under 200. That is Epic, Putnam, the virtual school, and Princeton, right? So just need to keep an eye on that, I think, and perhaps as a board be thinking about, or as a district, be thinking about, what does that mean? And what are we thinking about that level? What are our plans to help grow those schools, or is the right thing to do something different, And so that's just what I see when I look at this. I just want to mention that. And then can we look at page 61, the capital report? It just has I have a question about Glen Iris. Let me go to my page. And so I think everybody would kind of perhaps have the same concerns, I guess. But look at Glen Iris new building. For the amended FY25 budget, there was $2,150,000. For the proposed budget for 26, it's only $270,000. We didn't spend that $2 million in 25 or this year, any of it. And so does that get carried over?
Some of the items, and I'll let Mr. Moore speak to it, but I know that some of the projects for Glen Iris, those projects, the biggest part of it was moved to the AFT monies, and it was just repurposed through the budgets itself. So on some of them, you'll see where the monies were moved, like Carver for one. But for this one, when it was listed for the new building at the $2.1 million, the $270,000 is the only amount that is being projected, because the biggest portion is coming out of that new EAT money, that $21 million that we're getting.
EAT stands for?
Education, Advancement, and Technology.
And did we see a breakdown of that somewhere else?
It's listed, not a breakdown, because with the EAT monies, with that, so for the past year, and it's on one of the slides just under state revenue, it just shows the EAT, EFT money. Okay. That was $19 million. This year, for FY26, it will be $21 million. But none of them, as you notice, will not give you a breakdown as to what those detailed expenditures are. The only thing we did do was break down the RAISE Act, but those monies were not broken down. We'll be happy to provide you with a copy.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, we have a budget for that, so we can provide the board members with the budgets of the budget, which indicates the projects identified in that money.
Really, we need that. This has been slippery around Glen Iris. It kind of halfway didn't get done before. Now I just feel anxious about it. And it's the only one I really know specifically to ask questions about, but there are other questions about the others, I think. And so, it just does raise my level of angst about the capital projects budget.
Understood. Yes, ma'am.
And hold on one second. If I have another question, let me just check. Oh, the ESS, you told us last night that there was $1 million, and I saw $1 million in the budget. There's a second $1 million somewhere. Will you show me where that is?
Okay. It's on that same slide that talked about our local general fund highlights close to the front. I'm trying to find the slide. 8.
Close to the front, like?
Slide 8.
Page 8?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
3 from the bottom. 4 from the bottom. It says continuation of ESS staffing services. That estimated $1 million, I talked about that on the previous slide. That's the amount that we're getting from the legislative. So the additional money, because ESS is never, that's not enough to fully fund ESS.
Right.
And so local general fund will be adding in up to $2.5 million.
Okay. And is that broken out in the general fund yet, or we don't have that breakdown yet?
It's within the budget. So when you see that, the line item that says professional services, let me go to that.
And last night, the 2.5 was approved last night in the board meetings.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Is that right?
It will be approved this evening, this afternoon, but with it, we did include it in there as part of it.
Yes.
I thought, oh, I don't remember that last night. Okay. Okay, but show me again where it is. I just want to look, have my eyes on it.
Okay. Okay, so it's under operational cost and it's slide 47.
Okay. Oh, we did vote on it last night. Oh.
So within slide 47, it says professional services. Professional services will include the ESS services, that staffing service. And so the monies are already budgeted inside of that.
Okay,
so everything that we have been speaking of is part of the budget. But because we have probably we have a $481 million budget. So we could not detail every expenditure that we're covering,
Sure.
but we're definitely covering the ESS additional monies that's needed.
Okay, I understand, and we did approve that last night. Okay, good.
And we are utilizing the RAISE Act funds for the ESS, well, actually, not just that alone, but a
Yes.
portion of that, correct? Okay.
Exactly, a portion of that.
And I just want to add to two things. One, to what Ms. Bourne was saying. I am interested, long-term, beyond my time, just to continue to look into the alternative schools. I know that Epic and Princeton was on that list. And I just think being creative, maybe another high school, I think there's just opportunities there just to have a plan around that enrollment. I think Dr. Sullivan and our small groups made a great comment that I thought was worth saying publicly on my team, in our small group, was that we've seen improvements in our other schools, and so there isn't this dire need, I guess, or desperation of parents to feel like I have to apply or I have to put my child into an alternative school, and so children are now opting to stay in their local elementary schools. And I think that was, to me, was a point of emphasis when I came to the board, was to make sure that every school offered a desirable education, that parents weren't feeling like, oh, I have to get my child in Rams, or I have to get my child in, say, a school. And so that's a point of pride. I'm happy to see that. But also, to Ms. Bowen's question, I just think there's opportunities, and there's a population that we do lose. I mean, and so I just think just being creative about what can we offer that, again, is, appealing to that parent group, because as we know, parents make those decisions, that they will still continue to choose BCS. And I think kind of in conjunction with that, I would just say with the RAISE funds and with that, is, as we move into the future, just being innovative. I think we have an opportunity, we have a blank slate. Whatever, the choices that were made this year, I know that you all had a team, you all met, and I believe, I have confidence, because we wouldn't be where we are now if you guys weren't doing great innovative work, just to continue to be, I think one thing that I've seen with leadership in general is that, and we learned this, Dr. Sullivan, when we went to the DMG conference, about it's hard for an organization to think about the operations of the day and also think creatively about the future. usually somebody's working on solving problems for today, but then also simultaneously thinking about what can we do. And it's hard to do both at the same time, which is what we say all the time, fly the plane and build it at the same time. Like just having someone to be thinking creatively about what can we do, what can we imagine while, today is staring at your face. And I think there's opportunities around alternative schools, and I think there's opportunities around the raise funds to be creative. And I have confidence because Intercession is creative. The Newcomer Center Empower School is creative. The Virtual Academy, that's creative. So I have confidence that we can generate these innovative ideas. I just want to encourage as we continue to to have the grace to fail and make mistakes, because when you are being innovative, errors are going to happen because you're doing something that has not been done before. And so I'm just excited about that, but I felt like this would be the time to say that again, the ESS teacher's aid, those are something that's really impactful. And I think just along those lines, there are other things out there. Maybe I don't know if that's Mr. Tatum's department or someone to always be thinking about what can we do, what can we put into our soup, what can we add to our catalog that makes us that recognized national leader. So I'm excited about what we're doing and just looking forward to hearing and seeing what you all do in the future. But that concludes. Any more questions or comments, colleagues?
I just want to ditto what you were saying. Also do understand public knows it as well. We have a few schools that have a decline in enrollment. I don't want to say what some thoughts I have are publicly right now because I think it's fair for us to talk about it as a body. But I definitely think it is an opportunity to retain our families. I sound like Mr. Billups. He emphasizes some of his alphabets, but to retain and also just look at spacing, where we are and how we can make the best, considering a couple of our schools are not very far from each other, and there's a super high enrollment in one and not as much in the other, and they kind of fall between District 2 and 4, and so I think so. Though I said it from the beginning, we're the cavalry. We have what we need. You all, the cabinet. Minus Dr. Williams not sitting here today, but you all have. Hey, Dr. Williams, you have what we need, the insight, internally to navigate those systems on how we can capitalize on where we are and where we need to be going forward. So, yep.
Mr. Wilson.
I just want to remind everyone that this is a turbulent time in American history. Yesterday, the White House press secretary made specific comments about local decisions in Birmingham, Alabama. I want us to be careful of what we say. I don't want rhetoric to become a problem. I come from a neighborhood that when you talk ish, you got to be able to back it up. So let's not draw unnecessary or unwanted attention to where our children become victims of the foolishness that's going on. Does that make sense to y'all? Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I will say that we are being impacted currently by decisions. I mean, when Ms. Glover recognized the reduction of students in our English language learners, I mean that's a direct reflection of federal level policies, and so we yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, those are realities, though. I mean, and I think if we are elected to be the messengers of truth, and people have confidence in us to be on the forefront of sharing the information that they need to know, and if we don't share that information, then who would they receive it from? That's going to be a trusted voice. And so I just, again, I'm not trying to, but I stand where I stand, and if I have to be asked about it, I'll say it again. And I've shared my address and my phone number publicly, and it's still the same. And so again, if we don't stand up for our children, for the people who we see every day in the grocery store, who live next door to us and are in our families, then I don't know who else will. And so I think this is just, these are the realities, but, and we're doing the best that we can. Again, I do applaud, as I said last night, I applaud our state legislature. I applaud Representative Garrett, Senator Orr, those who passed the RAISE Act unanimously from a state house, our governor, that we see $5.8 million coming to Birmingham City Schools. We have great leaders and we have people who do the right thing, and we don't have to always agree with all decisions, but I think that we have people who have shown that they do care about our children. Even Representative Garrett and the money that's coming to the intercession. You know, I make no mistake about it. We have to work across the aisles. We work with everybody because we are neighbors and we are all Birmingham. And so I appreciate that. And so looking forward to, again, the continued success. And I'm excited about what's happening because I believe in the people who are leading. So that concludes my statements, colleagues. Is there anything else that needs to be said? All right, Ms. Glover.
That concludes everything. Again, I just wanted to thank not only the superintendent, but the executive cabinet and all the members that assisted in compiling the budget.
And we want to thank you and your team.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Sullivan.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Glover. This yes, I'm sorry, Dr. Clashberry.
Thank you, Dr. Sullivan. Board President Meadows, board members, Dr. Sullivan, Superintendent, we are proposing on the recommendation that the salary schedule for 2025-2026 be approved as presented. The only change that has been made has been with the crossing guards. That is an increase to $15 an hour. The state legislature did not grant a raise for public education, so the salary schedule remains the same with the exception of the crossing guards.
Ms. Williams.
I'm just curious. Thank you for that. When do we do the amendment? Because I know we do an amendment in the mid-year. So is it December?
It's usually later after we have received the information from the State Department of what our carryover balances are. Typically, it's usually in May, late May.
About perhaps doing it a little earlier in preparation for,
Right. We try to do it sooner. We usually try to wait until those allocations come in. So the earliest that we can possibly do it may be the month of March, but usually May or June, typically.
Okay. Thank you. I'm just curious just because I'm thinking about, I don't know if there are some additional positions, there are some roles, just thinking about position additions or readjusting in other areas, and I didn't know like how soon that could potentially happen. I know it requires a budget.
I will say it's not uncommon to do multiple budget amendments. So even if the piece that we don't have the carryover balances yet, we can still do one to cover these late monies or allocations that have come in and do any other necessary adjustments. And then whether it's May or June, do that second one to include carryover.
Got it. Thank you so much. That's good. Yeah.
Well, colleagues, I think this concludes the second budget hearing, and we will swiftly transition to our special call board meeting if there are no further questions or comments. All right. Well, welcome to the special call board meeting for September the 10th, 2025. We will begin. I will lead us in invocation with a brief Mr. Wilson invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and we will then proceed with the matters of today. Let us bow our heads.
Heavenly Father, we come to you all so grateful. Lord, we ask that you continue to bless us, continue to help us make wise decisions and protect each and every child in the state of Alabama. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The mission of Birmingham City Schools is to guide all students to achieve excellence in a safe, secure, and a nurturing environment. Colleagues, we will now have the adoption of the agenda. It is recommended that the agenda of the September 10th, 2025 special call board meeting be adopted as outlined. Dr. Sullivan, are there any additions at this time or deletions?
Mr. President, there are none at this time.
All right, colleagues, I hope that you received your revised copy last night. May I have someone to move and second the agenda?
So moved.
Second, sorry.
Let the record show that it was moved by Board Member Bohm and second by Board Member Williams. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. All right, colleagues, we have two recommendations. The first, we have the request to approve the proposed salary schedule for FY 25-26 that Dr. Classberry just went over with very minimal changes from the previous year. May I have someone to move and second?
Move the item.
Second.
The record show is moved by Board Member Williams and second by Board Member Sullivan. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? All right, thank you, colleagues. Next, we have the request to approve the FY 25-26 proposed operating budget for all funds that Ms. Glover and her team has done a great job of presenting to us in 3 different settings. At this time, may I have someone to make a motion and second the budget?
Move the item.
Second.
Let the record show was moved by Board Member Williams and second by Board Member Sullivan. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Is there any opposition? All right, colleagues. That concludes our actions for today. We will reconvene on Tuesday, September the 23rd at 5:30 for our work session, and we will have our next board meeting on Tuesday, October the 14th. Colleagues, are there any announcements that need to be made at this time? Dr. Sullivan? Mr. Wilson?
Quickly, because I didn't last night, I just want to thank you all for the investment that we as a board have made into Birmingham athletic facilities. Had an opportunity this week, well, a couple of days this week, to go watch the Jumbotron that's going up at Winona High School. Mr. Moore, thank you to you and your team for your diligence, for making sure that Birmingham City School has first-class facilities. Let me piggyback Jason for a minute. Let me explain to you guys why it's so important to me. As a young man out on the football field at Winona, it wasn't a football field. It was dirt and rocks. I still have scars on my arms to prove it. Football saved my life because it gave me something to do that was constructive. I had grown men mentors who were around me who taught me responsibility and work ethic, taught me how to get along with other people. In a time where youth gangs were prevalent in the city of Birmingham, the best gang we were a part of was the Dragons of Winona High School. And I'm sure so many can relate to what I'm saying. As a young adult, I was blessed to be right back around that program under the tutelage of Ronald Cheatham, and I had to learn how to become a mentor myself. But nothing changed because we were still practicing those kids on dirt and rocks. No matter how many grass seeds we planted and tried to water them with a water hose, they played on dirt, dust, and rock. So much so that we had people getting infections because they were breathing dust, what was famously known as the Dust Bowl at Winona High School. So to look out at Bell Culpeper Stadium at Winona High School and to see the beautiful backdrop of Lawson State, which, by the way, former board members, you should be ashamed of yourself because we should have never sold that property to Lawson State. Just keeping it real. That's keeping it real, Jason. It's beautiful. It's something that we can be proud of. We have been able to give to our children and our grandchildren what our grandfathers and mothers were unable to give to us. And for that, we should really be proud. Birmingham City Schools have come a long way. Now, Dr. Sullivan, you can relate to that because you played football at Woodlawn High School on that same dusty field. So you understand. So again, constituents, board members, executive staff, thank you guys so much for investing in our children, for doing the best that you know how to do, and making sure that we do things first class and we give quality to our children. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Ms. Baum?
I just want to follow that with a request to hear more about our elementary athletic leagues. The police athletic team and Let's Move. I know we have a sort of a mishmash of things going on at various schools. So what we have in each school would be really great to hear. And I think it's certainly going to help build the players that will play on Winona and other fields as we move forward. But I'd really love to hear that. And also I want to remind my colleagues that there is a survey out to you from AASB, and it is due, I think, tomorrow, Friday. No, not tomorrow, but Friday. Yeah, Friday, end of day. So really, really encourage you all to pay attention to that and fill that out for us. Thank you.
Great reminder. Thank you, Ms. Baum. And, you know, I was saying we can conclude, the board members are really just diligent and hardworking people who are concerned about, like, the outcomes of the real lives of our students and our staff. And so you see and you hear some of it, but there's a lot of sacrifice of their personal time, and we don't get paid much. I don't even call it money at all, you know. It's a labor. Yeah, it's a labor of love. And so thank you, Ms. Baum, for leading that and spending your time. All right, and also you all for coming out today, and hopefully we didn't pull you away from your lunch, and you all have a great rest of your day. This meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you.